Watch Dr. Drew's new show at 9 on HLN. Weeknights on HLN.
Marcia, Cindy might love her daughter, but her 911 call could be what actually convicts her.
It may be. It may very well be. And don't forget, though, I mean, to me, one of the most compelling pieces of evidence in this case is the behavior of Casey herself.
The lying and the horrible parenting.
Not just the lying, but the behavior that's euphoric. In the 31 days that her daughter is lying dead, and she well knows it, she's behaving in a manner that is absolutely joyful, gleeful. And if there's any single thing that, other than the duct tape, which I think is the murder weapon, that will convict her, it is the knowledge that jury now has that while she knew the child was dead, she was out there partying, hot body contests, and all the rest of it.
I thoroughly disagree with Marcia.
What do you say?
Not because I do.
Go ahead.
I just always wanted to say that. But go ahead.
Let me ask you, you bring up the duct tape as a murder weapon. Have you seen a case where duct tape is a murder weapon?
No.
Has anybody seen that?
I don't think so.
That seems weird. So to me, I mean, I've had to
I
be
had a garlic crusher once.
But no, not
that.
Yeah,
go on.
Seriously?
Well, it was a serious bodily injury case, and apparently he really hit her in with one.
It's in the skull. Yeah, okay. But with duct tape, I mean, I've handled dead bodies before, and the one thing that's problematic is stuff comes out of their mouth and nose for quite a while. And I could imagine someone taping up to sort of cover what they're doing. I mean, if somebody's trying to cover their tracks, whatever they did, they may be trying to cover up. Casey has remained a suspect all along, but she refused to break. This is the part that I found captivating. Despite intensive and threatening police interrogation. Watch this.
Looking at everything you told us is a lie, every single thing, and you can't keep sitting here and telling us the same thing, and getting constantly over and over and over again. We're disproving everything that you're telling us. You're telling us that you've lied to us. You're telling us you're giving us misinformation. Everything you're telling us. Okay? It needs to end.
The truth.
Mark, don't you find this committed, fearless, convincing lying incredible?
It's unbelievable, and the defense is hoping that first they're going to believe that George molested her. Here's the problem. So far, we haven't heard one piece of evidence that could seal the deal for the prosecutors. There was a note written by Casey while she was in jail, and it says that Lee did such and such to me, and I think that my father did it to me when I was younger, too.
Yes.
I think my father might have done it to me.
Yes.
Well, wait a second. That's entirely different than this alleged chronic...
huge,
right?
tremendous,
totally
overt
different.
sexual
You don't
abuse.
get past the first hurdle then.
Yeah, right, exactly. Now, among the most damning information that we heard about was the smell of death coming from Casey's car. Watch Cindy talking about that.
So I went and got some Febreze, and I sprayed the dog. And I sprayed Febreze all through the car, thinking that might help the odor. I sprayed the front and the back. I used pretty much a whole can of Febreze.
You know, although Leonard has said some sort of damning things about Cindy, she's the only one in this whole thing that I believe. She seems genuine. That's how I would behave if I were shattered. My life had been shattered like that. Now, the one thing everyone agrees, a lot of experienced people, the smell of death was in the car, high chloroform levels in Casey's trunk, intriguing searches on her computer about death and bodily injury and chloroform. The list goes on, and of course, the amazing, amazing lies. Marcia and Mark, what do you guys think? I'll start with Mark, is the most single damaging bit of evidence or testimony we heard?
What the defense did. I don't mean to trash the defense any more than I have to.
But you've been doing it all along, so you might as well.
It comes from the heart, and I'm a defense lawyer, and I know some of these lawyers involved. They shifted the burden unnecessarily. The prosecutors have the sole burden of proof, and they came up there and they said, here's exactly how it happened. Unfortunately, there are so many flaws in their version. And all the jurors have to do is say, well, we believe the prosecutor's side more than the defense. That should never happen. That's a violation of the Constitution, what they did.
I don't know about that, but the fact
maybe not. Maybe too much.
But the fact is, they shifted the burden of proof onto themselves,
yes.
And I've heard no proof of their version.
You didn't have to do it. No one knows how this happened.
All right, fair enough, Marcia.
All right, but they don't have to show it yet. We are not in the defense case. I would expect, actually, with that opening statement, and I have to agree with Mark. You know, you don't give that kind of a detail. I do.
Mom, Marcia Clark agrees with me. She prosecuted OJ.
As much as I wanted to thoroughly disagree, I tried. But the truth is, they should shouldn't have pinned themselves down that way. It's one thing to say that you are going to see at the end of this case, the prosecution didn't prove it. But they didn't do that. They gave an actual scenario. And when it comes right down to it, now they're going to have to deliver, because this jury will not forget those promises that they made. So they're going to have to put at least a mental health expert up there to say, this is a child abuse accommodation syndrome. She made up these lies because she is delusional and all the rest of it. Unfortunately, in my opinion, what we see so far is these are opportunistic lies. They do not just coincidentally all help her. They help her because she's a liar.
They didn't even ask Lee. They're claiming Lee abused her. He said that in opening statement. They didn't ask Lee the question.
Did you abuse her?
And you know what? That was the smartest thing they did, though.
Why?
Because quite frankly, because he would have said obviously no, and now the jurors are looking at him and they'll believe he didn't abuse her either, potentially. That was a smart move, but the point is there won't be any evidence of it.
Well, that's my thing. The only evidence we have heard is that she had her shirt up or something. There's something vague, and that certainly doesn't lead to what you call the accommodation center, where people have very, very serious character problems, severe lying, addictions. I'm starting to wonder if addiction is a bigger part of this, too, because we hear that she was okay, and then suddenly things got really bad with her.